for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Number 2, community announcements. Members of the audience may make announcements regarding community events.
Oh boy,
Ms. Kathy.
I have a couple. Number 1, Veterans Day is coming up Monday, November 11th, and I was gonna scale back, and I thought, you know, can't let the veterans down. Gotta have a ceremony, and I felt like I was kind of pushed to do this. It's just something that has to be done. So I asked John. I'm sorry, Karina, I didn't ask you. I asked John if I could use Legacy Park, and he said yeah. And so I called Dave Barr, and he spoke here 10 years ago. He was a Marine in Vietnam, and as if that wasn't enough, he had to go then and be in the Israeli force and fight Islamic terrorists. And then he fought under 2 other flags, and he's written 4 different books. But he lost both legs in a tank mine explosion in Angola. And he says, I know there's a reason why I lost my legs. I don't know what it is, but he says, I wasn't going to let it stop me. And I love his quote. Did I put it in here? Yeah. Commitment to one's vision and unceasing persistence always brings success. I thought, yeah, I like that. He's a bulldog, he's a bulldozer. And he just gets in there and gets it done. Well, he loved his Harley-Davidson motorcycle. He rode the crazy thing around the world with no legs. I mean, he has artificial legs. And we had him out at the house one time when we were running our steam train, and he's down in the dirt and the mud, and he got mud in the joint. He grabs a garden hose and he's spraying out his knee. Oh, it's so funny, but he brought his son, who was 8 at the time. He's 18 now, and he's real excited because he's going to work for Caterpillar and over in Bakersfield, going to school and with Quinn and Caterpillar. But he gives a most inspiring talk about the importance of veterans. So I hope you all can make it. And I'm just kind of putting it together really fast, but the best part is I got a great speaker. So and then before I go back to the 40th anniversary of the LongEZ, I wanted to let you know also the same week, November 16th, we have Plane Crazy Saturday. And Jim Payne is going to come and talk about Purling 2, soaring above 76,000 feet in a glider. That's just unbelievable. And I chose this picture, though there's another picture taken from that they had a camera on the tail of the glider. You could see the curvature of the earth. It's so cool. But Jim and Jackie Payne will both be here. And they didn't go to 76,000 feet this year. It was last year. But the weather conditions kept them to only like 65,000 feet this year. But it's pretty incredible what they're doing, and Airbus is their sponsor. Now, he spoke here a couple of years ago, and he said, do you mind if I bring Dennis Tito? No, I don't mind. So they flew in his little, let's see, Cessna Mustang Citation, I guess. It's a cute little jet. But yeah, Dennis Tito sat right here in the audience. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be really great. But I just have to say some thank yous for this event that we had celebrating the first flight of the Rutan LongEZ, the 40th anniversary. And I just feel that it's important to recognize the people that everybody did their little part and it made it a success. But most of all, I want to thank Karina and the board for your wonderful support in everything with the event center and the security and the fire department and the tower and And I'll tell you, people, I was shocked. We had people from all over the world. This one gal came from China, and there was a young man building a LongEZ in Portugal, and he wanted to meet Burt Rutan, the designer. And he came to Mojave to meet Burt Rutan, to this event. And there was a German photographer, journalist there. Let's see, there was another country, somebody from France, and I didn't get to meet them. But then all four corners of the U.S., there was a guy, it was a question-answer thing, and a guy from New Hampshire stood up. And I'm like, New Hampshire, that's a long ways. And most of these guys flew their airplanes in. And several from Colorado, another guy from Florida, Texas, Washington State, Oregon, all
Michigan, the
over.
guy from
Oh, that's
Michigan
right,
called
the
in.
guy from Michigan, yeah. And Bill was flooded with phone calls, I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
But I have something for Karina and the board, and it's not a lot, but this was a picture that was taken from our helicopter by Mike Massey back when we had another LongEZ fly-in, and I thought it was so beautiful, so I made up plaques for everybody using this photo, and that's what we used on the flyer and a poster I'm getting made. So I just wanted to give this to Karina. Thank you. That's
I appreciate it.
I'm just overwhelmed.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Chris Vandorf, security, he was my go-to guy. And he was fabulous. I just appreciate everything that you did. Thank you. You held it all together. You were the glue. Thank you so much. Thank you. And John Himes. John's here. Oh, yay. John. He kept texting me with the wind speeds. In the afternoon, they kept going up and up. And then a Cessna jumped its chocks because of wind, and I was telling everybody, you know, because they just wanted to stay and talk to Burt, and I said, if you value your airplane, you better get out there and either tie it down really well or get out of here.
I have to tell you, being there, that the Stu-Witt Center is so well built and all.
Oh, yeah.
None of us had a clue what the wind was doing
That's
outside
right.
during
That's
this
right.
whole thing till we walked out the door.
And it blew you to
Yeah.
Barstow. Yes. Anyway, thank you, John. I appreciate it.
John, turn this way just 1 second.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, I had so many wonderful compliments about the airport from these people that flew in from other places. They were just absolutely thrilled with the reception that they got. And I told them, I'm sorry, I couldn't control the wind. If I could, I would have, but could not do that. And I want to thank Brandon Weldon, our deputy fire chief. He's such a great guy. And thank God we didn't need the fire crash rescue, but he was here. And I appreciate it. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're very, very welcome.
What
Very
a
welcome.
great guy. We are so lucky to have him. And yeah, yay. And I have plaques for the other firemen that were on duty. I also have plaques for the tower. The tower guys were Rick and Nick. Let's see. It was Nick Booker and Ricky Anderson. And the other fireman was Joe Hughes and Michael Prather.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And I had asked Rick Aldridge if he could maybe get some guys from Scale to help marshal the airplanes as they came in. Because wouldn't you know, they came in all at once. Those poor guys in the tower, and they left all at once, like a flock of birds. But it was so neat to have these young people from Scale in their bright orange shirts standing at the edge of the flight line, right there at the taxiway where they're coming in, their hands are up and they're putting them in the parking places. Now, we had asked that specific airplanes be displayed right in front of Voyager, like Boomerang and Catbird, and sorry Starship didn't make it, but Matt Steinmetz LongEZ is actually the first LongEZ, the fuselage. And he bought the parts, or Burt gave them to him, but that was the airplane that made the first flight, with the very easy wings, and then with the newly designed LongEZ wings. So that is LongEZ #1. So it had a special place. Old Blue, Dick Rutan's LongEZ, and Mike and Sally Melville's LongEZ. They were the first and second LongEZ production built, and they were built right here at Mojave. So we had a special place for them. And let's see, what were some of the others? Zach Reeder's minding the Catbird, and Trace Clements is taking care of the Boomerang. But all of those were on display right out front. And Burt and Dick were out there with people, and they were amazed at how accessible these guys were, because many of these guys have gone to Oshkosh, and there's thousands of people at Oshkosh, and you can't get close to them. And here, they were able to go right up and start talking to them about how they're building their LongEZ, or they built it 10 years ago, or whatever. And they just were thrilled. So I also have plaques for our viewers, Ron Langford, Javier, and how do I say his name? Gerardo. Oh, I'm not good. Perez. I can say Perez. And then Jake Revedue helped Craig Moore was the guy from Scale that got the helpers to help marshal the aircraft. He has, in just the last few days, quit Scale and moved to Tuskegee, where he'll be working with his brother, and he's getting free flight training. So he said, I can't pass that up. So he left us. But I have table centerpieces for Carmelita Panko. She's administration, and she is just fabulous. I call her, and she is just on top of everything. Then Michael Forsey, maintenance and administration. I have a LongEZ for him, and if they want to take it off and fly them, they really fly. And I'm going to give one to Mel Langford, because Mel was one of the first guys I called, and I said, Mel, you know, the museum's LongEZ's in the hangar, and I kind of want Rick Aldridge to take that and put it up on the stage. He says, oh, okay. He says, just have him call me. I'll unlock the hangar, and we'll go over there. And so that's kind of how it all got started. And I guess it was interesting to get that LongEZ through the door without taking the wings off in the wind. I mean, they had it was like a crane that, was it more like a, oh, I don't know, it was a combination crane and forklift, I guess. And so you had to tilt it and then the wind would blow, and you hold your mouth just right. But anyway, they finally got it in, but he said, I'm taking the wings off to take it out. Because you know, they're fragile. And so, but Rick's just a great guy, but I really appreciate Mel for helping too. So I think that's all my thank yous. Karina Dries, Rick Aldridge, Jake Revedue, Chris Vandorf, Mojave Air and Spaceport Fire Department, Brandon Welton, and firemen, fuelers. And Ron Langford not only was fueling aircraft, but transporting people from the admin building to the event center in the dams. So I really, really, really appreciate that. And then, of course, the tower controllers were really busy as they all arrived, and then really busy when the winds kept increasing. And the gusts were what was bad, but everybody got off safely, yay! And I just appreciate every little thing that everyone did, because it made it a success. It's all a blur to me. I don't remember too much about it. I wanted to be in 2 places at once, but I never saw the flight line full of airplanes. There was, what, 78 or close to 100. Yeah, so anyway, it was a very successful time. Thank you so much for your wonderful support.
Thank you.
Any other community announcements?
I have one from Rosemond. Tomorrow, the Water and Sewer Agency is going to break ground on a water reclamation plant expansion, $15 million expansion. The first was done in 2009 and has never produced one bit of usable water, not one single drop. The promise was it would reduce the rates, but the rates have gone up. But now they're going to spend $15 million, add to that, and then take that water, put it back in the ground, and be able to pump it out. And this will add to the water that they lost with the adjudication. So I just wanted to pass that along. At 11 o'clock tomorrow, you're welcome to come.
Very good. Any other community announcements? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion unless a member of the board, staff, or public requests to move an item to an action item. Is there any items from the public or the board? Seeing none, I take a motion from Mr. Valentine, seconded by Mr. Evans. All in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? There are none. Moving on to item 4, action items, resolution authorizing application for federal excess personal property program. Staff report, please.
Good afternoon. So we were very fortunate to receive a slightly used new fire truck that we actually have in our possession for the past couple of weeks. We didn't realize the state was going to request this resolution, so I do apologize for not alerting the board in advance. It's something that came to us after the fact. But we're very pleased with the truck. We very much would like to keep it, so we are requesting your approval. The FEP resolution basically just says, you know, we acknowledge that it's their truck, it's the state's truck. It's essentially on loan to us, so if they needed to call it back, they could. And Chief Felton, if you guys have any specific questions about the truck or the program, is pretty familiar with this program.
Why doesn't the state just ask every district on the planet to pass a resolution making it known that we understand that the state owns everything? Because that's really what happens.
Is there any public questions or comments?
I had a comment. I see on the wish list you got a Type 1 engine
Yes, sir.
for structure protection.
Correct, sir.
That's come in handy at 14s and boron or something. We have a structure fire on the airport.
That would be absolutely, or a room and contents fire on any one of the buildings here on the airport.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot better so I can preserve the property.
Yeah, we not break it up with a monitor.
Right, if I turn the monitor on, I'm gonna rip the whole side of the building off, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yikes.
I saw that happen when Poncho Barn place burned up years ago. And the Edwards Fire Department destroyed what the fire didn't.
Authorizing application for federal excess protection. It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. Motion passes.
My eye counted as 2. I said it out loud.
Reports,
say aye, aye.
financial report, please.
Well, good afternoon. I'm happy to be back and starting to get caught back up to speed on everything. For this month, this is the financials ending September 30th. You'll see the bank balance increased overall 95,000. We are starting to get some of the tax money for this year, and as well as our fuel sales for September were 130,000 gallons. And October is actually looking to be over 100,000 as well. So starting out the year strong. There's nobody on the over 90 days. And you'll see on the gym membership, we are still actually working on the credit, so we haven't paid anything to them based on they've received one lump sum from one of our tenants. So we're hoping that will progress at least another month or 2.
Thank you, Carrie. Any questions on that?
I have a comment about the gym. They've got a 5K run coming up on the,
This is
the
Saturday.
9th?
The 9th.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not participating, I'll
Yeah.
watch.
Neither am I.
All right, move on to item B, CEO report.
All right, so we had a number of activities in October. I actually hosted Township Proposal staff here this morning. We'll host a AD communicators meeting here in this room on the 7th. So I think 25 folks have RSVP'd for that, so we'll have updates also from Strata Lunch and Scale. The AV Communicators Group is exactly that. It's a group of marketing professionals, PR professionals in the Antelope Valley from various organizations. I volunteered to host the meeting here in Mojave because they were looking for a meeting space, so we'll give everyone an update on what's going on at Mojave Spaceport along with some of our customers. Let's see, as far as improvements go, so we actually started the design work already for Charlie, which is underway, so that's going really well. And the tower HVAC upgrade is going really well as well. Floyd and Darius are both at training this week for airfield lighting course. So I don't have specifics on the HVAC, but I can tell you that it's going better than expected, so that's a good sign. And everything else is just for information. If there's any specific questions, I'm happy to go through. The one thing I did not include on here actually happened while I was in DC, October 28th, I think the date was, is Virgin Galactic went public. So that was big news for one of our customers, pretty exciting.
We can't own their space company has gone public.
Yeah, there's a threshold amount,
Yeah, it's not that you can't.
2 or 3%, as long as you don't exceed the threshold.
I don't know, I just don't have any comment on
Yeah.
that. I don't invest in claims and political customers.
That's all I have to report as far as questions.
All right, we have no board committees. Board of directors, any comment on something not on the agenda? Seeing that there is none, we will move into closed session. Thank you, everybody.
Public comment.
Well,
Public comment.
Oh, where is
We have public comment.
Is there any public comment not on the agenda? Okay, now we'll move into.
okay.